Welcome everyone to Bounce Off, the #1 SlamBall podcast. I am joined by Gage Smith, a graduate from Concordia University, second in all-time rebounds for the Bulldogs, a GPAC tournament winner in 2020 and 2022, as well as league winner in 2022. But more importantly, starting stopper for the Mob, first guy to record a triple-double in SlamBall history, 2023 SlamBall Season 6 champion, and reigning league MVP. Gage, how are you doing today?
Good, Sam. Thanks for having me on, man.
Thank you for being here. It's a great opportunity to speak to you, to the guy who is, I think, universally the face of the new era of SlamBall in many ways.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Like it was just an incredible experience, incredible opportunity, man, and I tried to make the most out of it. So
As we're filming, we're about 2 weeks removed from the championship game from the end of the season. How much are you getting withdrawal symptoms?
man, I'm still on that high, kind of like you never really like I don't know. It's kind of hard to come down from like talking to Marshawn Lynch, calling you his token white boy, and everything like that. And
Oh,
then
that bit
meeting
didn't, that bit
Des
wasn't on
Bryant, man.
commentary.
No, that was hilarious, man. He's such a good dude, and that was just like crazy. And then winning the championship, like, that was just like one of the like coolest moments of my life, man. So it's kind of tough to come down from that.
I'm glad you brought up the Marshawn Lynch thing, because in prepping for this interview, that had totally slipped my mind. The best quote from the whole season, him coming from the commentary desk up to you in the middle of a timeout and saying it's an honor to effing meet you. How was that as just like a 1 second interaction?
Man, yeah, I it just caught me off guard. I was just listening to coach, and then Marshawn just creeps behind and shakes my hand. I'm like, this is just unbelievable, man. He's just such a good dude, and I think like he just respected my hustle and all that stuff, and just those words coming from him, man. Like he was always in my fantasy lineup growing up, so like it was a big moment for me, man. And man, yeah, it was really cool.
I think it adds a lot of, just from my perspective, as someone who wants this sport to be seen as seriously as every other sport, it adds a huge amount of credibility that you have a guy with his weight of professionalism telling you, as the face of this new thing, it's an honor to meet you in particular.
Yeah, man. Like he went on the tramps too and saw for himself, man. It's not easy. Like this sport is very difficult. It took us 2 months to learn how to fall, learn how to like prepare ourselves for injuries and all that stuff and try to avoid them. And yeah, I think like this is one of the most competitive sports out there, and it's just so exciting to watch, like 5 minute running clock. And I think I watch it all the time now, and it's just like it's just crazy. This came out of like nowhere, and I think it's gonna be big in the future. So
Are you watching the season just past, or are you going back and watching 2002, 2003, even the China League stuff, or is it just what you competed in?
oh yeah, all that stuff. Like I'm trying to see what like all those grades did back in the day and what I can take to my future game and stuff like that. Like I watched a lot of Cassidy, TA, Noah Blue, and I kind of wanted to be a mix of all those guys. And uh, yeah, so I was just watching them and then watching like the game nowadays. Like I feel like the game nowadays is just more strategic. Like I think there's a lot of basketball guys with a lot of basketball high IQ, and just watching like the way that they made cuts, like trying to trick the stopper and all that stuff. I think it's very enjoyable. So I rewatched like the Lava. I'm ready to play them again, man. Like they've given us a good challenge, man. And like going in that championship game, like I saw us the Lava winning it, and like the Lava like had a tough start, but they were a solid team, and then the Slashers too are a good team. So we just had to come out and execute. So.
How did you feel? Do you feel like they were, the Lava in particular, were maybe underappreciated until the playoffs? Was that the matchup that you were most paying attention to?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, like Bryce Moran, he went down with that ankle injury, and he's like the #1 pick in the draft and everything like that. And they had like just Jihad Shockley, which I think was a great pickup from them, and Fessel Shavot, who's a great stopper, and um, what's that? And then number 20, oh, man, I can't remember.
Josh
Josh.
Allen.
Oh, Josh. Yeah, Josh. Yeah. So they had a solid lineup. So coming in that championship game, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a real test to see like if we can complete this undefeated season, man. And I'm just glad our guys just like it was a lot of pressure coming to the game, but we just came out and executed and got that win. So
On the undefeated season, as that became more and more likely and more of a reality, did the pressure start to increase for you guys? I know people were telling me earlier in the season there's no pressure. We're just here to we're going to win it all, and that's not a pressure thing. But when you get up to 10-0, it has to build to a certain level, no?
right, yeah, 100%, man. Like going in 10-0, everybody wants to beat you. Everybody's like trying just like they want an undefeated they want the underdog and stuff like that to take off the mob and stuff like that. So there was a lot of pressure. There was a lot of people wanting to beat us, but man, it was just like going 18-0 and possibly being one of the best SlamBall teams like ever, man. It was just incredible. But yeah, I totally like you could. It wasn't really pressure, like, but it was just like, man, we just had big, like we've set ourselves up for big things, so we just got to finish it and fall through. And then the championship came around, and like that would have been newsworthy, man, if the mob lost. So we had to handle business there.
I mean, we'll get into this past season more in earnest in a moment, but I want to start from the very beginning with you and life pre-slam ball and everything. So, on top of basketball, I know that you played baseball in high school. What other sort of sports were you playing at that time?
Yeah, I played pretty much all alone. So I was baseball and basketball really. I was just deciding like we're doing one of those two in college, and then I decided basketball because I don't know, I just felt more upbeat, more things going on. So I don't know, I just always loved basketball. And then I also played soccer my freshman year, and then football my sophomore year, and then golf my senior year. I wanted to keep playing football like all my senior year, but then I broke my face, so I wanted to play
Oh,
one more other sport. Yeah, so I ended up playing golf during that time. So, but I really loved football, man. Like I wish I could go back and play it, but
a lot less contact in golf than in football.
yeah, right, yeah, yeah,
And I
exactly.
guess that means you were comfortable with the face mask during this last slam ball season if you're accustomed to breaking your face.
Yeah, right. So yeah, when I broke 6 bones right here, man, and
Oh,
like yeah, like I kept getting popped in the face and stuff like that. So I ended up wearing those face masks. I was like, yeah, it would suck to break it again. So, I just kept wearing it. And then at the end I was like I couldn't really see out of it a lot, so I just was gonna be like, yeah, whatever happens, happens. So
right.
yeah.
So where did that love for just all sports come from? Is that a family thing, or did you find yourself going towards that on your own?
Oh yeah, my dad, he's a big like sports guy growing up. Like he was gonna go to D1 school, but then ended up going to the military for a little bit, and then just worked, became a bodybuilder, and then like so he's always just had a sports mindset. So he rose me and my brother up to try every other sport out there, man. And I think that's just like what helps, like this sport specifically, slam ball. It's like every sport together at once. So I think like the best in the sport are the ones who grew up playing every single sport. So I think that really helped me out for the season. But yeah, so pretty much my pops.
Just him pushing you into those sorts of things was basketball a thing he almost went D1 for
No, football actually.
football.
So he was a receiver. Yeah. So, but he always loved basketball, and yeah, he was always my coach growing up, and for basketball, football, and baseball, and all that. So, yeah, he always pushed me in every sport. So.
Your mum and dad were in the crowd for a lot of the games this year. Was that did they just tell you they were going to be there, or was that were showing up regardless?
No, yeah, they're really supportive. Like growing up, they went to every single one of my games and everything like that. And then my pops got diagnosed with cancer, so he was fighting cancer through the slam ball season. So it was killing him not making those games or anything like that. But then he kept fighting, and then he toughened up for the semis and then the championship to come out and support me. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, usually they're at like every game, so you'll probably see him a lot next year.
Hope he's doing okay at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, he's good, man. The tuber shrunk and everything like that, so he's doing solid. He's one of the toughest dudes I know, so he's doing solid.
Okay, awesome. Talking about family, going into your last year at Concordia, your fifth year at Concordia University, you mentioned a motivating factor for returning to play was to play more with your brother Tristan. Would you like to see him join you in slam ball in upcoming seasons?
Dude, we talk about this so much. Yeah, I would love it, man. Like I would want him on my team. Like that dude is way more athletic than me, way bigger than me. I think I got a better basketball IQ than him, man. But he's like a football frame. Like he's like 6'6", like 225 solid muscle, like strong as could be. But yeah, I would love to see him on the slam ball court. The only concern we have is he ended up dislocating his ankle my fifth year, so I only got to
Uh,
play with him half the season. So it was kind of a bummer. So he's still having rehab and stuff like that. And when it comes to the trampolines too, it's like iffy. So, but I would love to see him out there, man.
I can't remember. It's killing me right now that I can't remember. But in the
Yeah.
second season of Slam Ball, there was a set of twins that were playing. It's really
Yeah.
annoying. I can't remember
They.
the names.
I can't remember. I remember what team. What was the team? Was it the Bouncers? I thought they were on the.
I can't remember. All I remember is that the storyline from season one was that one of the brothers was the one playing, and he had like 4 injuries over the season, but kept going. And then
Yeah.
the second season starts, his brother joins him, and the commentary says, "Yeah, his brother thought if he can do it, I can do it." I'm like, "He like broke his elbow. What are you doing?"
Yeah, that would be my brother for sure. Like whatever I do, he wants to just one up me and everything. So I could totally see him being out here and trying to beat me at the stopper. I think he'd be a good gunner, but yeah, I would love to see us being like those twins back in the day. So
Awesome. You finished university. We're talking. You finished university this year, uh, and then basically jumped straight into slam ball. Was there anything you were considering doing in that gap between university and slam ball? Were there opportunities in sports or maybe in the business world? What were you looking at?
yeah, so I was thinking about trying out for overseas that summer actually in July, and it was like you come out in Vegas, try out, see if a professional team plays you up. Because my dream was always to play overseas basketball. Like I've always wanted to do that. But then SlamBall called, and then I was like, actually, like I remember seeing it growing up, and I was like, low key, this could be my sport because I love every single sport together. So this could be like one put together. So I just took a risk and tried slam ball and came out. And I talked to Rob Wilson a lot. He was just supportive, like with the decision, helpful coming out. But yeah, so that was pretty much the plan. And I think just really, if like the overseas thing would have worked out, I went back to Colorado, helped with the family business. We work for like an online wellness company, so I pretty much would have promoted their products and stuff like that. And yeah, just done just some random jobs or something like that. But yeah, man, slam ball was just a blessing in my life for sure, especially with like everything going on in my family, like with bills and everything. So it was really like God given for sure.
So you're now locked in full time, because I know that some guys I've spoken to are sort of like, this is my full time job now. Other guys are
Mhm.
obviously going back overseas to play professional basketball. What's your current situation? Are you looking at other opportunities, or are you involved in slam ball full time now?
Yeah, I think slam ball is really like what I was supposed to do. So I think I'm just gonna keep a slam ball. I don't want to get injured or anything like that. But I'm just gonna be working now. It's just working some jobs back home. Probably work with the family, with that wellness company really, and just try to promote it. I probably just keep using social media and stuff like that. Try to build my brand online. But yeah, probably just find a job, man, and live that like small town life. So.
When it comes to the playing internationally, did you have like a specific place you wanted to go and play? I would love to throw Scotland's hat in the ring for getting Gage to play our team.
I would love it. If you know the Scotland coach, man, hit me up. Like I
I
still
can
would.
I
Yeah.
can try, because so
Yeah.
the way basketball works in the UK is that there is only one pro team in Scotland, but we play against the
Okay.
teams in England. And funnily
Hmm.
enough, I did interview the general manager of the team last year, so
Oh,
I'll
really?
send him your tapes.
Hey, throw my name in there, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, that'd be great. I've always wanted to go to Scotland for sure. So like England, Scotland, all that, all those places. So really, like anywhere would be cool, man.
We have good golf courses, so
Oh, dude, I'm a golfer, so yeah, I would love that. You
what
golf a
was
lot?
I don't. My mom and dad both have done in their lives. My mom always tells me a story that she won a women's championship in the 90s. But she does say that's because she was the only person in the championship. So
Very cool. Okay, yeah, that's a family golfer. That was awesome. Sorry, my computer cut out there. That was weird.
you're all right. We're in a little bit of a buffer. Hopefully, we'll get through it. For those watching at home, there might be a sharp cut at some point. All right, we
Yeah.
look to be
Oh, there we
okay.
go.
So, what was the thing that tipped you over the edge of going, I'm going to go for slam ball rather than pursue international basketball opportunities? What was the thing that made you go, this is the opportunity I'm going to take first?
I think just like I've always been the type of guy to try something new, really. Like I don't know, like basketball was great and all, but playing 5 years, I kind of felt a little burnout. Like I just wanted something new, really, and just uh, I don't know, test different waters and all that stuff in my life. So I was just like, you know what, slam ball could definitely be it. Like I like to hit people. Like I was a hack in college. Like I fouled out so many times. My coach was always worried I would foul out. So I was like, you know what? Now I can just hit people all the time, and in the air I can just take their arms off when they try to dunk on me. So that's pretty fun. So I was like I really truly like, and my coach Coach Lembeck for Concordia, he was like, dude, I think you could be really good at the sport. So I'm like, yeah, I trust his opinion. Like he's one of my mentors. So like I was like, you know what? Let's see what happens. And it turned out to be great. So.
When it came to getting involved with the league, what was the connection that got you that opportunity? Who reached out to who? Rob Wilson's obviously, you've mentioned him already, but integral in most guys getting involved. What was the pipeline that led you to Vegas?
Yeah, so Rob Wilson actually called about me. I don't know how he found me, honestly, like a small NAIA school. Like that's just crazy how he found me. But yeah, he just reached out to me. He's like, "Hey man, we'd love to have you for a tryout. You're getting paid for the tryout." I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." Like just to go try out for slam ball. I didn't know what to expect. maybe I was like a practice dummy or something. I don't know, but but yeah, like Rob just called me up and we talked for a few months, and then he finally said like Mason Gordon and like all the other guys wanted me to come out for tryouts with like thousands of participants and stuff like that, and they liked my highlight video I sent them, which was done by Coach Tex. So shout out to Coach Tex. But yeah, so it's pretty much Rob Wilson, and then that committee accepted me, and then I flew out to Vegas.
So the process for you was lots of people were considered, they gave you the opportunity, and then you still had to go and try out on top of
Right,
that.
right, yeah. So we when was it? So like June 10th is like when we were all supposed to fly there, and then we had like a week tryouts, and then like from that week, like people would be cut, and then we had like another week, I believe, of tryouts, and then those people were cut. And then there was the draft for like the rest of the cut and stuff like that. So I was just hanging out in the Rio, just waiting for a phone call, and then yeah, Noah Blues sent me a text. He's like, "Hey man, you went third round to the mob," and I was just like, "This is crazy! Like, it's pretty. This is just unbelievable to be drafted and given this opportunity, man." And like, I was just like, well, if the mob are going to take the chance with me, man, I'm going to give it all I got during the season. So, yeah, Coach Kirsch then called me. He's like, hey, congrats, man, you made the mob. And like out of all the teams there, I actually like, I don't know, Coach Carter was a cool dude. He talked to me a lot. He kept calling me Justin Bieber like the whole time. Like I was like, I don't look anything like him, but he just kept calling me Justin, and I was like, all right. But Coach Carter was a cool dude, and then Stan was really like helped me out with like tramp work and all that stuff too. So either one of those coaches, but Coach Kirsch, I talked to him for a while, and the last day of tryouts, he was like, "Hey man, do you think you could play stopper?" And I was like, honestly, like in my head, I was like, "Oh, dude, I do not want to do that. Like, I don't want to be up with 15 feet in the air with these high flyers, man, trying to block them and landing wrong or something like that, something going wrong and all that." But I was just trying to make a team, so I was like, "Yeah, I could, of course, make stopper, and then just see what happens." So, so I don't know if that swayed into the decision for me, but yeah. So like later that night, coach called me, said, "Congrats, man! I can't wait to work with you and everything." And I just called my pops later. I was like, "Hey, man, I just got drafted in the mob." Like that's crazy because I remember watching him on YouTube growing up and stuff. So it was just truly a blessing. And then we got to work after that. So
What was the how did you feel about going third round? Is that something that you think you should have been higher, or were you happy to just be involved generally?
yeah, I was just happy to be involved generally. Like there was a lot of great talent out there, man. Like a lot of D1 guys. A lot of D1 great players, a lot of great D2 players, different sports and everything. So I didn't know where I was going to set. I didn't know if my NAI background would have had something to do with it, but Coach Kurz still took a chance with Cam Horton, like who was an NAI player too, and and then me too, who's both NAI players. And there was like six in the league, so two of them were on the mob, and like just like seeing like overlooking that and just seeing like okay, these guys can actually ball even though they're NAI. Like that was pretty cool. So I was like, yeah, if you're drafting me, you're gonna get a dog. Like I'm gonna like work my tail off for you. I'm gonna get you as many wins as possible, coach. And yeah, I just wanted to repay the favor to Coach Kirsch.
So did that create a chip on your shoulder then coming in as one of the only NAI guys that's competing against these higher division backgrounds? Was that something that you came in the league wanting to prove I'm better than the background that you're perceiving me as coming from?
Oh, 100%, man. Yeah, I growing through college, man, like going to NAI school, like you get looked down and stuff like that. But there's real competition out there. And I truly believe through my college experience, I trained harder, I worked harder than most guys, I studied harder. So this was my opportunity to prove myself. So coming into SlamBall, I was like, all right, I don't care where you came from. I'm gonna be the best one out there. Like I don't fear any of y'all's names or anything like that. So yeah, just going out there, I was like, this is my chance to prove myself. So I was just very proud of how it turned out.
With the tryouts and things like that, again, there was a lot of talk, or at least I've found myself talking a lot about the concept of the Super 24, that initial training camp for the 24 hand-picked guys. From your perspective, was there any, I don't know, sense of being snubbed that you weren't part of that Super 24? Or again, was it just this is the opportunity regardless of where they asked me to come?
Yeah, I think the Super 24 was just like the guys that are higher on social media and stuff like that. And like they were good in college and just like social media background and just knowing around the public and everything like that. So I wasn't surprised I wasn't picked 24. It didn't hurt me or anything like that. I was like, well, I'm just going to come in and do my best and just see what happens. But so yeah, I didn't really didn't bother me at all.
Okay. You mentioned Coach Stan Fletcher and that he took extra time with you when it came to tramp training. I've heard from some of the guys that there was like additional opportunities made available for anyone who wanted extra practice during training camp. Was that something you were taking advantage of, or were you comfortable enough early on that you were like, I'd rather rest my body?
Right. Yeah, I did a few of those things for stopper point, like just to learn from Rob Wilson, like stopper positions like that. So I did like two of them, but really like after those practices and stuff like that, like my biggest thing was injuries. Like I would roll my ankle sometime and stuff like that. So I was like, I just know how to jump on tramps and everything like that. Like I think most of those were just like learning for people to jump on the tramps and stuff like that. But I think I already got that down. So I was just trying to save myself for the season and when the lights came on, be ready then. So
When it came to, so you were doing stopper drills, even though you were expecting to be playing gunner position. Was that just to diversify as much as possible, or to better understand how the stoppers are going to be playing against you?
right, yeah. Like I think it was huge that I came in as a gunner and then became a stopper. Like I as a gunner, you can like you figure out the tramps and how to jump against stoppers and stuff like that. So then when I went to stoppers, I can read guys and see how their feet are positioned on the tramps to either go like inclined or like horizontal. I mean straight or like horizontal. But so that I think that was just a huge bonus that I had going in because like a lot of the stoppers didn't train except for Amir really weren't really gunners or anything like that. So I think that was really helpful. And like it's like basketball too. Like if you could play every position, then you'll be solid. Like you'll be the one best. You'll be one of the best on the court. So like coming into college, I was a guard, and then I became the starting five man. Like because I grew like 5 inches or something like that. So and I think I'm like 6'7" now. So it just keeps going up. So it's pretty great. But yeah, I think just like having that diversity and having a feel for every position, man, is just huge. So.
How does it, going through college and starting at, like you say, if you were guard, if you grew like 6 inches or something, starting at like 6'1", 6'2", and ending up 6'6", how does that change the way you're perceived by the people around you? But also in terms of, I know some guys that have that growth spurt deal with a lot of like things like back pain because you're putting on muscle while at the same time developing your own body. What was that experience like for you going through college?
Yeah, it wasn't terrible at all. Like I think like the biggest thing you got to work on like with growth pain and stuff like that is just nutrition. Like if you're getting good supplementation and good source meats and whatever you eat, good source food, really like you'll be solid. And then I would take ice baths like every day too. Like I would research in the physical therapy. Like one of my roommates was a physical therapy major actually. Shout out Ian. But yeah, so he would show me stuff to recover and everything like that. So I think that was huge. And yeah, I think I just always like I don't know, just tried to treat my body as a temple like always. So I think that just helped out for those years.
Yeah, awesome. So into the season itself, you like you said, drafted third round by the mob, knew the history of the team a little bit, knew it was one of these legacy teams that was coming into the new season. Do you feel like being a part of that team that was in the very first game, all this different stuff, did that paint a target on your backs for the rest of the season before you even had the success you were having on court, but just name value alone?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like we're going into the season, like I didn't even know it, but like the Rumble and the Mob were the biggest rivals. So like during like training camp stuff like that, we weren't like supposed to talk to the Rumble at all or anything like that. But I still mess with everybody. Like I don't know, like everybody was cool to me and everything, so I was gonna be cool back. But yeah, like going into the games though, like you just like had like everybody wants to beat the Mob. Like they're the most winning team in SlamBall, so they're coming for you. So we had this target on our back that we didn't really know. So it was interesting, but I liked it. Like I love like trying to I don't know, take that target and run with it and try to beat whoever tries to beat me. So yeah, like with the Rumble or something like that, that first game, like we scrimmaged them like a week before and we won by like only 2 or 3 points or something like that. So we were like coming in like, all right, we just got to run our plays and do our sets and everything like that. And we did, and we ended up beating them by 40. So that was cool. But yeah,
What was the big difference for you guys then if you were playing close games? Because single digits is the closest game the Mob have had all season then, because you did not have any of those during the actual season proper. What was the biggest jump from preseason scrimmaging to regular season and playoffs? If you guys went from barely beating a team that then ended up bottom of the standings to, again, dominating them by 40 in the first game?
Right. I think what our team does better than everybody is understanding personnel. So like after we play a team once, like we know what their like big like best moves are and everything like that. Like for the lava, it's that side tramp, top tramp, dunk, and stuff like that. So like the first game, we were able to like play them and analyze it. In the second quarter, after halftime, we were able to like understand what they were doing. Well, me as a stopper, and then just like play them like into certain positions where they're not gonna be successful at. So I think our guys do that the best. Like I think Cam Horton is really good at like reading like the stopper and making him like off balance for Dak to come up and just jump over him and dunk in and everything like that. So I think like we just pay attention to people's offenses really and like defenses too. And I think that's just helped us for sure. Like the Rumble, we won by like 3 in scrimmage, but then we understood like they just want to shoot jumpers all the time, and they bring their stopper up, so we're able to have that transition for other for the next game. So I think we were just really good at reading guys.
Okay. We talked earlier about you were supposed to be a gunner, went into the season having trained to be a gunner, and then were asked to be a stopper. Was there any frustration initially with that, where you were sort of told or said, if you like you said, maybe if you didn't say yes to that, you wouldn't have been as high on the draft board for the mob? Was there any frustration on your part of like, I've practiced this position, this is the position I want to play, you're asking me to switch?
Nah, not at all. Honestly, like I think I believed in Coach Kirsch. Like he's one of the best coaches ever, and I've always just tried to been that guy that just wants just to win. So if he thinks this is the best way to win, then I'll excel at that position. But yeah, it did hurt a little bit. Like I'll be honest, like I would love to play gunner and see if I could score as much as Ty McGee or something like that, right? But like he put me at stopper, and then we just had like so many great gunners on our team, so it was just like what are you gonna do? So he put me at stopper, and then I actually like prefer stopper now because I can like control the offense and like see if like Cam's like alone, he has like a running start to dunk or something like that. I can trick him, throw a pass over there so he has that running start. And I really like being that guy who's like the point guard and like controlling the offense and making sure we're in the right positions and stuff. So he was right. So Coach Kurtz was right. So I'm glad he did what he did and everything. But yeah, I would still like to try a gunner for one game. So
On controlling the offense, I think for people who are just watching the sport, they might not have noticed this as much, but for the nerds that keep talking about it as much as I do, the thing that we've latched onto is how insane your outlet passing is and the ability to do it horizontally mid-air. Is that just something you developed in training camp? Because I can't imagine you had any practice doing that before SlamBall was the thing. You're just
yeah, I feel
parallel.
right. Yeah, I feel like I could always throw dimes like through college and stuff like that. Like I could throw dimes and stuff like that. I was always making trick passes, behind the back passes and everything. So I always had a good feel for the outlet pass. Like that's our offense was like we were running guns. So I would get it, look up and deliver. So I think that just helped for slam ball. But yeah, it's so much fun on a trap though. Like you catch it like 15 feet in the air, you sort of look around and then you throw it like a QB. Like it's pretty fun, man.
We were talking there about stopper and gunner, and you said you would like to play it for one game. In games where you guys are higher up on the score, you did get to play some spot minutes at the gunner role. Was that you asking for it, or was that a reward from coach because you were so far ahead?
It was a reward, man. Like it was totally a reward. I should ask him more like in the championship against Slash or something like that if I can go and try to dunk on him here. But yeah, it was pretty much a reward for playing good stopper. Like one game I remember saying he's like, all right, we're having Gage at gunner because he never gets to play gunner, and then I went there and just tried to score as much as I could. So in that little bit of time.
Okay, talking of scoring, obviously you're the first guy in the history of SlamBall to have a triple double. I know you said yourself you had no idea that was what was happening when you finished it up with a McNasty over one of the top stoppers in the league on a face-off. Did you still not know that's what happened when your entire team rushed you for a hug?
For sure. No, I had no idea. Yeah. So like I went in and I thought I had Ty on the bounce differentiation. So I went up and then he smacked me in the face. So I was kind of mad. I was like, dude, what the heck? Like I had that thing. So then we had the face off and I was like, I don't know, in that moment, I was just like, you know what? Let's just try it. I've never tried it before, but let's see if I can do a McNasty. And if it ends up on Sports Center like worst plays, then so be it. So I went and then it just between the hit and then I was able to off arm Ty a little bit and then pretty much threw it in. And then when it happened, I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. and like everybody rushed to the court and everything, man. And it was a cool moment. And then after the game, I think Stormy told me that was for a triple double. So I was like, oh, that even makes it like even sweeter. So
100%. And on that, because like you said, you just said I'll try it and see what happens. And if you miss that, to some people, that's the biggest clown moment of the season, where it's like you had a triple double and you
right,
just
yeah,
went for it. But on the
right,
other
yeah.
end of the court, you're playing at stopper, where you've constantly got guys coming at you, trying to give you their best dunks, their best offensive moves. They're trying to put you on a poster every time, which is, kind of the point of a game called SlamBall. At your position, and as a SlamBall player in generally, do you think that you need to have a short memory in order to play this game, so that you don't get bogged down in, oh, that guy dunked on me last time down, or oh, I didn't get hit that dunk last time? Is that an important skill to have, and is that something
A
you?
hundred, yeah, 100%, Sam. I totally like think that's the biggest thing. Like for like the mob, especially, we did the best. Like I would tell our guys every time, like next play mentality, like it happened, like and so you make a turnover or something like that, like we just got to keep going. Like that's the biggest thing with slam ball. It's so quick, like you can't dwell on for 2 minutes because that's like most of the game. So it's just like you got to have that mindset. You're just like, oh, if you get dunked on, then get that quick outlet pass, and then we're just gonna get dunked back. So like it's just the name of the game. Yeah, you're going to get dunked on. And I feel like a lot of stoppers had that problem. Like it was just like a disrespect thing. But me, I'm just like, oh, that was cool. And then outlet and let's just score on the back end. So,
Okay, with the triple double in particular, like we said, you didn't notice it at the time. It wasn't a thing that was on your mind when it happened. Has the significance set in for you since? It's like, wow, this is something that only I have done in this sport.
yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Just to say that, like, I have the first triple double in slam ball history. Like, I didn't even know. I thought somebody else would have it, but going back, I don't know if Cassidy scored a lot. So, you know, uh, yeah, it's pretty surreal, man. Like, just getting the first triple double and trying to be like the Jokic of the league. Like I'm from Colorado, so I love Jokic. So it's like it was pretty cool, and I hope to get more in the future. So
Awesome. That led to, well, that didn't lead to, but that was part of your case to be, I mean, it wasn't said, but to be the unanimous MVP, I think is fair. It felt like from week 2 onwards, that was the narrative, was that Gage Smith is the best player in this league. Were you worried about getting that award at any point in the season? Was that a focus for you, or was it more team oriented?
oh yeah, team oriented. Like it was a great award, man. But like going into that night, they were saying I was going to get the MVP trophy, but I was just focused on winning, man. Like we came this far, 16-0, and like that night, man, I was just like, I just want to win the whole thing. Like I want that trophy. And then I remember Noah Blue having some rings, so I was like, I'm getting that ring. Like I want a ring. Hopefully they have it for us sometime. But like I've always just wanted a championship ring, man, and like we've come so far, and like those guys are my brothers now, man. Like it's pretty cool. Like we got bunched up together, like just such cool dudes, and like I would go to battle for them, man, and that was just like the biggest night for us. So I was just focused on that.
Did you feel, like I said, around week 2, it was already starting up, like Gage Smith is the guy, he's gonna win this award? Did you feel that narrative change at any point in the season? Like, did you feel that swell of support, or is that purely something that I see online?
No, yeah, I felt tremendous support, man. Like I just like all of the fans and stuff like that, like cheering MVP on the side and stuff like that. It was just so special, man. And like Slam Ball has the best fans. Like they're rowdy at the beginning and stuff like that, but they're just so supportive and everything. And it was just so cool, like after game signing kids like autographs and stuff like that. And it was just like one like you hope to do that one day in professional sports, man. So it was just super cool and like I love the mob fans, love all slam ball fans, man. So it's pretty cool.
Did that change how you were approaching games as the season went on, though? The fact that now there was this expectation of, he's done this for the first 2 weeks, he's going to keep doing it for the next 2 weeks. This guy's, the best that we've seen. Did that create any sense of pressure or a change in how you were approaching things, or was it not part of your mindset at all?
No, I just wanted to come out and beat everybody, really. Like I just wanted to come out and win. Like that was just the priority since day one and try to get as much wins as possible. And then it became like undefeated season and then really just winning the whole Slam Ball Series 6 championship. And now just like to reflect that on, talk to my kids about that in the future, man, it's just pretty cool. So like I just wanted to win, like so like yeah, there was never pressure with the MVP thing. I just wanted to be the best team out there.
with it, and this, the way I'm going to phrase this may sound like an insult at first, but hear me out. Did winning MVP to you feel deserved? And that might sound crazy for me to say with all your stats and everything, but I think a lot of people, regardless of the level you get to in sports, earn awards like that, and sometimes there's a little bit of imposter syndrome of, you know, I did come this far and did all these things, but I don't even know if this is right for me. Did you feel like, yes, I deserve this award? Yes, I am the most valuable player.
Yeah, I always had that chip on my shoulder. Like I don't want anybody. I don't. Every time I come out on the court, like you're not beating me. Like I don't care where you came from. Like I said before, like I want to be the hardest worker on the court, man. I want to make die for the most loose balls. Like I want to outwork anybody who's in front of me, man. So I think people saw that, and that's why they chose me as MVP because they saw like I was willing to outwork anybody out there, and I played the most minutes in SlamBall like this year, and yeah, I'm just glad everybody saw like this time it was the defense guy because usually it's the offense guy, but like usually like the slam ball fans and slam ball community saw like, oh, like we're gonna reward like the hardest worker out there, and I truly believe that was me this year. So
Also, and on that, on your mindset for coaching sports, I find it really interesting the way that to talk about how you do things on the court versus how you appear as a person. Obviously, your teammates nicknamed you Clark Kent.
yeah, that's cool.
How do you feel about that versus the one that John Schriffen tried to get on the call of the Eraser? What was better?
Dude, yeah. Oh man, like I gotta go with Clark Kent for sure. Like that was pretty cool. And Stormy said it like pretty sweet. Like he's a totally different guy on the court versus off the court. Like I've always had that mindset. Like I'll be your best friend, like off the court, but on the court, man, like that's my job out there. Like Coach Kirsch, like that's my guy. Like I gotta perform for him. So I'm gonna beat you. Like I will be friends afterwards, but I'm just gonna go out there and just win. But yeah, I gotta go with the Clark Kent one. The Eraser is pretty cool though too. Like oh, the Eraser races again. Like I don't know.
That's pretty good. So there is that intentional switch because I would describe you as a guy who would come across as humble. I think that might be fair. And then when you're talking to Coach Kirsch, he's always saying, "Well, other teams have to beat us. You know, we're going to beat ourselves. No one's going to beat us."
Yeah.
And I instinctively don't know how those two personalities are going to mesh.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I try to be humble as I can, like, but I'm totally a competitor. Like I'll say to anybody, like, you're not better than me. I'll never admit that. So I think Coach Kurtz is the same. Like he wants to be the best out there. And I think those personalities mix, like us trying to be the best for sure, man. But yeah, I appreciate that humble comment. Like I try to be as humble as possible. And man, I think Coach Kirsch and I just agree, like we're just there to win. Like so.
When it comes to the disrespected aspect of things, because that's when the switch really changes. I feel like there's those three gears. There's the Clark Kent, there's the humble guy off the court, there's the I'm here to win, and then it flicks another way up when you feel like you've been disrespected. Is that fair?
Yeah, for sure. I just try to man, I just try to give all glory to God, to be honest. Like, man, I truly believe that like he wrote my story, man, and like I put all trust in him and like whatever happens, happens. Like so I just try to like I don't know, take whatever opportunity I can and just try to make him proud and everything. So I don't know, I don't know, that correlates, but like man, I try to run with that and like how I take life and everything. So
But when it comes to the idea that someone has disrespected you on the court in some way, why do you go up that next level of, right, that's not okay. I need to show you more of what I'm about now.
right.
Is that a
Yeah,
chip on your shoulder?
I don't take it. Yeah. I take it personally for sure. Yeah, like if you dunk on me once, I do have that mindset. Like I'm not. It's not gonna happen twice. Like anytime, like my dad said something growing up, like if you miss a shot, you're making the next one. Like it's not gonna happen twice. So yeah, anytime somebody dunks on me, I do take it personally, and like if they talk smack too, that's especially when I like step up. I'm like, okay, I'll show you for sure. So I do have that disrespect side of my shoulder. That's like, okay, like if you dunk on me or if you beat me in this possession, like I'm gonna come back and you're just not gonna like that side of Gage. So
All right. So are you a trash talker as well, or is that it's a one-way street? People do it at you and then you're going to perform against them instead rather than say something?
I don't think I don't think I'm a trash talker. I guess I say some stuff like Tony, like sometimes him and me talk, like Tony, like he dunks on me a few times, he's like, give me that. And then like right afterwards I blocked him. I'm like I can't say it out loud, but yeah. And then he's like, wow, about time. I'm like, I literally blocked you like 5 other times, man. Like, yeah, and like he's a good dude too. Like I mess Tony, but yeah, we talk smack of
Is he
like
your
when I block
biggest
him and stuff like that.
guy to go against? Is it Tony, or is there someone else in the league that you're more like, oh, this guy again?
I think Tony for sure. Like Tony's just so quick, and I think like speed kills and SlamBall especially. I think that's also why we were so good. But yeah, Tony's just so hard to read because like he comes in the tramp so low and then like quickly like goes up. So I think yeah, he's one of the toughest guys for sure.
With the MVP and everything, and actually kind of talking about Tony as well. Recently, I released the first ever anonymous slam ball player poll, right? And something that I went into that experience kind of thinking was, with the amount of hype that you got towards that MVP campaign, part of me thought someone I talked to is probably going to mention Gage as an overrated player, not because he's not really good, because there's now this perception that you're one of the best of all time after one season. And the results came out, and anyone who was mentioned as an overrated player, I talked about it. Your name didn't come up. Is that vindicating from the standpoint of, wow, my peers look at me and they do see the most valuable player?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. They're putting me in like that kind of a category. Like, I truly believe I still have more work to do to be perceived as the GOAT and like one of the best of all time. Like I think like Stan for sure, like Stan, No Blue, Cassidy, like those guys for sure deserve the title. And I'm just hoping like I could just be able to prove myself for the next 5 to 10 years to be up there with those guys. So I think like yeah, people were saying that it's just amazing, but I truly believe I have more work to do. So.
We have a show on Bounce Off during the season called This Week in Slam Ball. And in the last one we did before the playoffs, one of my co-hosts, Craig Skistimus, said that he thinks you could eat Stan Fletcher's lunch in a one-on-one. How do you feel about that?
Oh man, I would love to see that for sure. Like, oh man, Stan is just tough. Like his tramp transfers, man, are just unreal. Nobody like can do it like him. Like I feel honestly, like now today, like he would take like bounce down and then go to the eye tramp and then throw a lob to himself and then catch it. Like you never know, and you have to read his bounce. So I think it'd be a good matchup. I'd like to say I'd smoke him, but I think it'd be a fun matchup.
Healthy competition. We've talked about all your
Yeah.
accolades in the sport. I want you very quickly to rank these four for me in terms of your personal like opinion of what's most important to you personally. We've got
Yeah.
champion, we've got MVP, we've got the first ever triple double, and we've got league leader in LBRs per game. What's
Mm.
the ranking for you in terms of most important to least important for Gage Smith?
I say champions for sure, LBRs, MVP, and then the last one. What was the last one?
Triple doubles.
Triple doubles. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
champions for sure, though.
why is LBR second for you? Why is that such an important thing in your like catalog of accomplishments?
I think for me, like I just always like try to be the hardest worker on the court, and especially in college too. Like I would try to get the most deflections, even though it's just not a category you keep track of. So like LBRs are kind of like that. Like if you have the most LBRs in the league, that just means you work the hardest to secure like loose balls and stuff like that. And that just shows just your efforts and like how you perceive the game and what you're going to do for your team. So I think like if you have higher LBRs, you're going to win a championship. So that's why. And then MVP is just like I think MVP is very important. Like it was amazing. Like I love wearing the bling around. Like I wore it to the lake this weekend and just like showing everybody. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, it's just like the LBRs just show like effort and like I think that's just always what I brought to the table.
Okay. With all of these accolades, you've become one of the faces of this new league, if not the face of slam ball in 2023. You saw yourself as a guy who was going to fight to get into this league. When you started, did you see yourself as a potential face, or has all of this been a bit of a surprise?
Uh I would say a surprise for sure. Like I just went in and I was like, oh, these guys are just crazy athletes, man. I don't know how we're gonna do this, but I don't know, like after like training camp, I was just like getting it down and then the tramps were just like becoming my best friend and everything like that. So I then saw like, oh, I could be one of the top guys in the league for sure. But yeah, getting the MVP in this like in a professional sport, man, is just like just I'm just proud of myself to be honest.
Of
So
course. With this stuff, how did your relationship with the front office change as the season went on? Because you start as third round on a good team, etc. But by week 2, like I said, calls that you're already MVP.
Right.
Did your relationship with guys like Mason and Rob, did that change over time?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I started talking to Mason more. Like he talked to me before training camp. He got to know all the guys. Like that guy is just so humble too, and just such a great dude. Like it's pretty great to have that guy as like your commissioner of the league. Like, but yeah, after like a while, we started doing like Las Vegas like news like station, talking to the news station together, and we started to get to know each other more. And he met my family and everything like that. So it was pretty cool, man. Like you, like this guy created the sport I watched growing up, so it's pretty cool to have like that guy be like one of your good friends. So
During that daytime TV appearance, he described you as a superstar being born in front of our eyes. Had he said that anything like that to you before you were on TV hearing it? And then how does it feel getting that sort of recognition?
no, man, yeah, he didn't know, but yeah, during the TV he said that. I was just like trying to just play it cool, But it was just a cool moment too, man. Like there's just so many moments in this league that I was just like, so many people are just so supportive, and it's pretty cool to have. So
Do you feel like a superstar now after the first season? Do you feel like that
yeah.
should be attached to you as a descriptor?
Oh man, man, that's tough. I don't I just I just want to go out and compete, man. Like superstar, like I just want to be like the best like team. I want the most wins in slam ball. Like I just want the most champions, man. Like I just want to be known as the guy that just puts his like body on the line for the team to make that play and just like outworks anybody and just yeah, to be one of the superstars of the league is pretty cool. So, yeah. What
Are all of these like additional media opportunities and stuff like that? Is that something you take pride in getting the opportunity to do, or did it feel like a little bit of a hassle when you're also still trying to win a championship at the same time?
No, it's super great, man. Like you as a kid, you see these guys, superstars talking on TV, man, and yeah, you just want to do that one day. I gotta say though, like it's so hard. Like I gotta give those NBA guys credit for playing the whole game and then talking right after. Like with Stormy, sometimes I would talk to her and I'd be so out of breath and I would just be like, yeah, as a team, mob out, like, like sometimes miss some of her questions and stuff. I was like, dude, that is actually so hard because your like brain is like fogs up from like playing and stuff like that. But yeah, I loved every single opportunity like they gave me, and I tried to do as much as I could for the sport. And yeah, man, I just can't wait to see where it goes.
It's good that all the teams had catchphrases by the end of the season because it meant if you did fog up, you could just be like mob out, and then that's the end of it.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, I'll just go because I can't even do like the thing.
The
Like I have to go
thing.
like this. I'm like mob
Yeah.
out. Yeah, yeah,
I got you. It's fine.
yeah. You can do it. Yeah, I have to like tangle them. Yeah, but
That
yeah,
works. Let's talk a little bit of like going beyond this season. Only a couple of questions with this bit. You put a lot of emphasis on the importance of getting kids into the game, whether that's telling friends, the Slamcasters, you said that you wanted the potential to do AAU tournaments in Slam Ball. That's something you'd like to see. Or telling your alma mater, Concordia University, that you wish you'd played the sport sooner. Why do you think it's important to engage kids in this sport as we go forward into next season and hopefully beyond?
Man, great questions. Like you do your research. That's crazy. Like I said all that, but yeah, I think it's just oh man, like I think like growing up, I wish this sport was around like in AAU tournaments and everything like that. And like I found a person like love for the game. Like I honestly love it like more than basketball. And I think I would have just kept playing and kept getting better growing up. And it'd be crazy to see like if you started young, like what this could end up with. I think like it'd be kind of interesting with like the hitting part of the game and stuff like that growing up. Like we'll see how that goes. But yeah, man, just like I don't know. I just want to spark a new generation of slam ball players and just see how like insane this game can get, like how fast paced, how high people can jump, how they can finish over stoppers, how stoppers can read. Like I think there's more this game can do, and I think like just inspiring them and just saying like, hey man, like just go to Sky Zone or something like that, like I don't know, like, just try the sport out. Like I think they can take this game to a whole nother level. So that's why I hang out with them and stuff.
Do you think that's the idea of doing AAU tournaments, is that feasible or is that just too complicated from like a logistics standpoint?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think it could be. I think we just got to figure out like the hitting part and some other rules like with the game. But I think it'd be, I think it'd be cool for AAU tournaments like basketball. Like if you just had a bunch of trampoline courts, man, like AAU tournament, just people playing each other. Like I think that'd be cool. And the games are so quick, like they can flow like an AAU tournament. But I don't know. That's down the road. But I was just saying that like it'd be so cool to have like my kid play AAU slam ball. So.
I mean, flag football exists for a reason. Just
Right. That's exactly. Yeah. Like there's alternate sports like flag football, MMA, like there's all that stuff. So why can't slam ball be another like something like kids can grow up playing, you know?
We've got a thing. I don't know how much you've seen of like professional rugby, but there's a version of that for kids that's called touch rugby, where if you get tapped by two hands, you have to stop and basically just roll the ball between your legs to your teammate to pick up. And so there's an opportunity to do something like that where it's like, got you, you need to stop and hand it off to someone else now. And that's,
Yeah, right. I think they could transition like those rules to slam ball too. So like, yeah.
adding the trampolines in is still a complicated part of it. That's the bit we're
right.
overlooking,
Yeah.
But...
Oh, 100%. And I think it's just like as a kid too. Like I loved like me and my brother, like we had a trampoline and then we had a basketball hoop and we would like hit each other and try to dunk on each other and pull cool moves out. So I think like in a game, like that'd be so much fun as a kid, like to good jump on a trampoline and try to dunk on people. It's like so I think it could be a fun fun game too growing up with. So
Well, this was not a question I had written down, but just because we're talking about the fun of dunking on people, if that's not something you can do. At the same time that SlamBall was on this year, there was a social media spike of a thing called Dunk Ball. Did you see this? Where it was
what's that?
It was maybe it was Dunk League or something. It was a group of guys had set up their local basketball league, but they'd set the rim at like 8 feet.
Yeah,
So they were just like, we're just going to play normal basketball, but now everyone can dunk. Let's go for it.
Right.
What's your take on that?
I think it's cool too. Like I think like I don't know, like I always been the guy to try something new and stuff like that. So like dunk ball, like you just like it's so much fun to dunk. I don't know what it is, but it's just a blast. So like any alternative way you can do it is awesome. So I think that league is so cool they created like slam ball. You can jump over the rim and stuff like that and dunk on people. So it's just different ways to dunk. So I think that's pretty cool too.
Okay, awesome. My last question for you for this amazing interview we had. Do you want to be involved with SlamBall going forward? That might seem like a very obvious question, but there's the rumored tournaments that are supposed to be happening between now and next season. There will be a next season. Is your goal to get back onto a SlamBall court no matter what happens?
Oh, 100%, man. Yeah, I truly believe this sport was made for me, man. And I think I have more work to do, more more things to do, man. So I can't wait for next season. Like I've been texting all the guys and hopefully we end up on the same team again, man. And just like I can't wait. I love this sport. I love like everybody who's involved with it, man. So I definitely want to be a part of it in the future.
Awesome. Thank you very much for talking to me, Gage. Thank you for being here on Bounce Off. Let the people know where they can find you and everything you've got going on during this off season.
Yeah, you guys can follow me at gage.smith at gage.smith11. My TikTok, I've made a few TikToks. You guys can follow me too, same user. But yeah, man, follow Sam. He's the best, like best analyst I ever read. Like I remember like the beginning of the season, man, you found all our stats from college and I was just so impressed. I was like, I don't even know how you did that. Like there's just so many guys. So follow this guy right here, man. It's gonna take off when slam ball takes off. So I appreciate you, Sam, having me on and love all the slam ball fans out there. So
thank you very much for those kind words and thank you for everyone that's watching at home. We will see Gage back on the court whenever SlamBall returns, but there will be another episode of Bounce Off coming next week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We will see you soon.
Yeah, I'm out.